Hey, it's Meg. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be sharing with you 10 ideas that you can use in your journal. So these are like my favorite ways to use my journals, whether it's art journals, junk journals. These are by no means original. I just get asked all the time, how do you use your journals? What do you put in your journals? Even just, I don't get it. What do you do? So I wanted to share like 10 different ways that I like to fill up my journals, and I thought what better way to show you than with some examples. So that's why I've got a ton of journals on my desk. So if you're struggling for something to do in your journal, then hopefully you can use one of these ideas in your own journal. And before we get started, if you are new around here or you aren't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when I post new videos. Let's get into it. So one of my favourite things to include in my journals are quotes. So whether I've heard something on a podcast, seen something maybe on Instagram or Pinterest, I collect them all in a bit of a commonplace notebook that I have going on. You could cut them straight out of a magazine, you could hand letter them, stamp them. There's lots of different ways that you can incorporate a quote into your journal spread. And a fun way to use quotes is to actually create a journal page inspired by the words themselves. If you want to add some more texture and dimension to your journal pages, then stitching is a really fun way to do this. All you need is a needle and some thread, and like you can see, I am no embroidery expert, but it's really fun to stitch on your journal pages. It's also a great alternative to using glue or washi tape. Just be careful that you're not using paper that's too thin. Using words or phrases that you can cut out from magazines, newspapers, even like junk mail that comes through the post, you could cut out the individual letters and create your own words. It's a really fun way to add some words and phrases to your journal with different fonts and colours, and you can also do kind of a bit of found poetry and create your own phrases. I love to include notes, envelopes, and packaging from things that I receive in the post in my journal, even down to the kind of labeling that you have on it. It just makes a really nice background, and it's also really fun to collect different stamps too. I think I use collage clusters on pretty much every journal page that I do. So whether it's like stickers, ephemera, little scraps of paper, I like to kind of collect it into maybe a corner of the page or a border or just like a focal point. And it's a really easy way of making your collages look cohesive. So overlapping things, playing with like a foreground, middle ground, background. It's just a really fun way to add some layers to your journal. If you've bought some new art supplies, or maybe you're working with like a limited palette, swatching them in your journal, maybe like putting a star next to your favourite ones, is a really great way of documenting the colours and supplies that you like. Adding extra things to your journal page is something we all like to do, but normally there's not enough room. So adding pockets and envelopes are a great way to be able to include more things on your journal page. And if you want to include maybe some writing that you don't want to be visible, you want it to be a bit hidden, then a pocket is a great place for that. You could do it kind of down the side of the page. You could just stick an envelope onto the page itself and use that. It's really versatile. So here I have like a glassine envelope that I've repurposed into a pocket on my journal page for a bit more transparency, and then I've just collaged on the top. So there's lots of different ways that you can use pockets in your journal. Collecting tickets and receipts and photos from your travels is a great way to document your days. In your journal, you could create just a page like I have that includes lots of different things from one trip. So I have little tickets, receipts. The only thing about receipts is they do fade, which is a shame, but I still like to include them anyway. I also repurpose tickets into little extra bits in my journal too, so it's just a really fun way to remember where you've been and what you did that day. Something I like to do lately is to dedicate a page or maybe a spread in my journal to documenting what I've been reading. So I will print out the book cover and give it a little star rating, and it's just nice to see an overview of maybe what you've read over the month or the year. If you have particularly enjoyed a book, or maybe you just really like the cover, then you could create a page that's just dedicated to that book, whether it's creating like a collage kind of inspired by the mood and the vibe of the book, or including your thoughts and kind of a bit of a book review on it too. Lastly, including your own art in your journal is a really great way to practice your skills. This is actually something that I've taken from my sketchbook because I really liked it and I just decided I wanted to put it in my journal instead. But you know, including your own art really adds a personal touch, and even if you don't feel confident, I would encourage you to try and explore, and don't be afraid to try new things in your journal. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!